The first 1,000 miles, what does it feel like to live with the R18 Transcontinental day to day after the honeymoon phase? Commuting, back roads, highway miles, and real world riding, not just the first impressions. That's what I'm going to go over today. Hey, I'm Chris, and this is Carolina Moto Life. Motorcycles, midlife, and the road ahead. After 1,000 miles, the question isn't, what does it look like? It's what does it feel like to live with this bike? And I'll clue you in at the end. I'll talk about I actually did drop it, unfortunately, in the parking lot. Commuting for me on this is really an exercise in riding the highway. We don't have a ton of traffic here in the RTP area when you're using 540, and that's what I take when I do go to work. I typically work from home, but when I go into the office, it's a 20-minute ride out to RTP, and the bike, of course, cruises like on the highway like it's nothing. So it makes it really nice. I don't have a ton of stop and go on this bike almost ever. I have, if in rush hour every once in a while, that happens if you're near one of the cities, but I don't typically have that happen with my route. So it's a dream for me. When I bought this bike, I was hoping it would deliver comfort, road presence, big torque, long distance confidence, and really I was looking for a lounge chair on two wheels just to crunch through the miles. And that's a reality of what it does. This bike just chews through miles in absolute comfort. It's got everything you need for riding long distances. Like I said, when I picked it up, I rode 250 miles back home. It was a dream. I'm planning on doing about a 500-mile ride as soon as it warms back up to visit my son down at the military base he's stationed in. And I plan on jetting all over creation as best I can. And I'm certainly excited to share those type of videos and talk about my experience with the bike doing that. This bike really asks something of you, especially at parking lot speeds and tight turns. I mentioned on other videos, I go out and practice pretty regularly, so I thought I had all of that under control. And really, that's probably the biggest trade-off would be the weight of this thing. As smooth as it is on the road and rolling, it's definitely a handful at low speeds. Somewhere around 600 to 800 miles or so, all the little quirks that have been talked about as far as the menu system, I was able to just kind of become second nature to use them. So it wasn't a big deal. Even the weight of it, I really got to the point I was very confident, and I'm still confident in handling it. But the reality is, after 1,000 miles, I think this is a bike for people who are still in at least decent shape, because if you do drop it like I did, it takes quite a bit of strength to pick it up, particularly the way I dropped it. And again, I'll talk about that in a little bit. But this bike, who I think it's actually for, definitely for somebody like myself looking for a pretty chill ride, just riding that torque, short shifting, not trying to rev it out, and just trying to crunch through plenty of highway miles and back road highway miles, stuff like that. It's a dream to ride. I love the stereo. As I said previously, that wasn't something I thought I'd like. I play it every time I go out, at least almost every time. And the cruise control, the adaptive cruise control, I use it literally every single time I go out. It's just super convenient. So that's it. But as far as dropping the bike, I have a cold or flu or something, and I was starting to feel better, and I thought I was going to get out today, actually. And then, lo and behold, I get it out, I set it up, and I press the power button, and it doesn't turn on. And I was like, oh shit, maybe I left that on overnight or something. So I've got just the slightest of little, it's not even a hill, but the typical driveway entry, or at least mine has a slight incline. And so I started pushing it up and duck walking it. I couldn't get it up the hill. So I just decided to get off the bike. Of course, I put it on the stand and try to take it at an angle, kind of holding it, by the handlebars and standing to the side and run it up. And sure enough, as I crest the top of the little hill, kerplunk, it just goes down. And unfortunately, it went down on the downward side of the little driveway entry. So as I try to pick it up, the typical way I would, just put my butt in the seat, grabbing the handlebars and pulling, it didn't want to budge. And so I got a neighbor who thankfully helped me get that bike back up. Nice thing is the crash bars do their job. There's a scuff, of course, on the crash bar, which made me feel sick to my stomach. But the saddlebags are fine, the exhaust, everything else, nothing else touched. So I'm very thankful for that. But that's it. It's a big bike. That's really the only drawback of it, is that you gotta practice the slow speed. In those slow speed moves, it is something to be respected for sure and practiced. So that's my 1,000-mile take and update on the bike and where I'm at with it. What questions do you have if you're interested in, if you're shopping this bike, or if you have one, what do you love about it? What do you not like? I love everything about it except the weight. That's it. But even that, I'm learning to live with. If you made it this far, thank you so much for watching. I would appreciate a like and a subscribe and certainly a comment to hear from you. Take care.